Unit 11. Tape script 11.1.
Today, paper is used for hundreds of everyday things. Books and newspapers, of course, but also money, stamps, cups, bags, and even some clothes. Long ago, before paper, people wrote on animal skins, bones, and stones. Then, in 2700 BC, the Egyptians started to make papyrus, which was similar to paper. But the first real paper was invented in AD 105 by a Chinese government official, Cai Lun. It was made from a mixture of plants and cloth. The Chinese kept their invention secret for centuries. Finally, in the 10th century, paper was brought to Europe by the Arabs. The first European paper mill was built in Spain in 1150. Since the 18th century, most paper has been made out of wood because it is much stronger than cloth. Nowadays, each person uses about 300 kilograms of paper every year. That's a lot of paper.
Tape script 11.2.
When was paper invented?
In AD 105.
Where was the first real paper invented?
In China.
Who was it invented by?
Cai Lun.
When was it brought to Europe by the Arabs?
In the 10th century.
Where was the first paper mill built?
In Spain.
How long has paper been made out of wood?
Since the 18th century.
How much paper is used by each person every year?
About 300 kilograms.
Tape script 11.3. 1.
Paper is only used to make newspapers and books.
No, it isn't. It is used to make hundreds of everyday things.
2.
All clothes are made out of paper.
No, they aren't. Only some are made out of paper.
3.
Before paper, people wrote on trees.
No, they didn't. They wrote on animal skins, bones, and stones.
4.
Paper was invented by a Chinese scientist.
No, it wasn't. It was invented by a Chinese government official.
5.
The Chinese gave their invention to the world immediately. No, they didn't. They kept it secret for centuries.
6.
They made paper out of wood.
No, they didn't. They made it out of a mixture of plants and cloth.
7.
The first paper mill in Europe was built in France.
No, it wasn't. It was built in Spain.
8.
Paper has been made out of cloth since the 18th century.
No, it hasn't. It's been made out of wood.
Tape script 11.4. 1.
Do you always wear a watch?
Yes, all the time. Don't you?
2.
Are you good at telling jokes?
No, I'm hopeless. I can never remember the ending.
3.
What was the last present you gave? Who to?
I think it was when I gave some flowers to my mum.
4.
What was the last phone call you made? Who to? Why?
Just before I came into class. I called a friend to ask if she was doing anything this evening.
5.
Do you keep a diary?
Yes, but I don't write very personal things in it in case someone finds it.
6.
Have you or a friend ever made a complaint in a restaurant?
No, but my dad often complains. I find it embarrassing, but he says it's important to do it.
7.
Have you ever been homesick? Did you miss your family or your friends?
Oh, yes. When I went on an exchange to Germany when I was 16, I missed everybody.
8.
What is the best advice you've ever been given?
If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Tape script 11.5. Part 1.
Today in Worldly Wise, the world's most common habit. Yes, chewing gum. We chew 100,000 tons of it every year. But how many of us actually know what it's made of?
Excuse me, I see you're chewing gum.
Yeah.
Have you got any idea what it's made of?
Nah, no idea. Never thought about it.
Have you any idea what chewing gum is made of?
No, not a clue. Rubber, maybe?
And do you have any idea who invented it?
The Americans?
Yeah, sure. I reckon it was invented in America, yeah.
Well, no. It wasn't the Americans who invented chewing gum. It was the Swedes. The Swedes, I hear you say. But listen to Leanne Ward, a chewing gum expert.
The history of chewing gum goes back thousands of years. In Sweden, in 1993, the skeleton of a teenager was found. He was 9,000 years old, and in his mouth was gum made of tree sap and sweetened with honey, the first known chewing gum.
It seems we've always chewed things of no real food value. Babies are born wanting to chew. Everything goes straight into their mouths. So why do we chew? Here's Leanne again.
We chew to clean our teeth and freshen our breath, but also because we just like chewing. The ancient Greeks chewed a gum called mastica, which is a type of tree sap. They thought it was good for their health, and women really enjoyed chewing it as a way to sweeten their breath. Then in the 1st century AD, we know that the Mayan Indians in South America liked to chew a tree sap called chicle. They wrapped it in leaves and put it in their mouths, so this was, if you like, the first packet of chewing gum. The American Indians also chewed tree sap. They gave it to the English when they arrived, but it wasn't until a few hundred years after that it became really popular in America.
Part 2.
The history of modern chewing gum begins in 19th century America. In 1892, a clever young salesman called William Wrigley decided that chewing gum was the thing of the future. Wrigley was a business genius. He was the first to use advertising to sell in a big way. Here's Leanne.
William Wrigley was really an advertising genius. He hired hundreds of girls, who he called the Wrigley Girls. They walked up and down the streets of Chicago and New York City, handing out free gum. Millions of pieces were given away. He also had huge electric signs and billboards. One billboard was a mile long. It ran along the side of the train track. So with all this, chewing gum became very popular all over the USA. I understand it was even taken into space by the first astronauts.
So what exactly is it made of?
Well, the strangest thing about gum today is that nobody knows what it's made of. Nobody will tell you. The chewing gum industry keeps the recipe top secret.
Tape script 11.7. 1.
Are we nearly there yet, Dad?
No, it's miles to go.
Oh.
But we'll stop soon and have something to eat.
2.
How much is it to send this letter to Australia?
Give it to me and I'll weigh it. That's £1.20.
OK, that's fine.
3.
Hi, can I pay for my petrol, please?
Which pump?
Pump number 5.
£41.78p, please.
4.
The 756 from Bristol is now arriving at platform 4. Virgin Rail would like to apologise for the late arrival of this service. This was due to circumstances beyond our control.